Okay, so let me just get my thoughts together here because I was bouncing around in that other video. But so I was talking a little bit about um, one thing in particular that I wanted to wanted that I saw in this movie, and I just want to bring up to y'all because there's some stuff rattling around my brain that I don't know, maybe could be of use to somebody as far as a point of view. But I said something about how basically every thing that we get, every idea that we get comes from the devil and all this stuff. And what sounds, I don't know, probably y'all are probably like, yeah, you're probably right. But, in case that sounds inflammatory, I've seen people lay out huge, long, credible, beautiful, supported things saying the exact same thing I'm saying, and still get people going, yeah, but. So I'm not even going to bother doing that, even if I could do that. I'm going to just, give you my frame of mind so you understand where I'm coming from. So there's a lot of conspiracy. I mean, where to even begin? What I will tell you is the nature of conspiracy is not to go, is the people that think that conspiracy theories confirm your biases, and no, they do not. They literally blow your mind and make you go, well, if that's, then how, what? And you have to piece by piece put together a new narrative that isn't the one that they're telling you. Because it doesn't give you, it just blows up what you already know. So it doesn't give you the new information, the right information. We don't know that. It just blows it up. That's as far as you get. And you have to sort of the more research you do, the more you can piece something together. But it's not some fairyland where you just go and believe lies. No, it is not like any other practice of information building that I've ever seen. And I'll tell you another thing. When I decided that I was going to go the conspiracy route, because you do kind of have to make a decision that you decide, okay, I don't know if I can believe any more official narratives. I got to go see what these people are talking about over here. And I was very, very surprised in the beginning to see that the leading conspiracy theorists were believers. I was like, what? Like, it blew me away until I understood, aside from the fact that these are people who just will never get invited to a church, or at least at the time. I think now they're probably keynote speakers, but at some, not every, but they've made a place for themselves. But these are people who just probably did not garner a lot of friendships and had to sort of make their own footing. And it's actually pretty organic for believers to do that. Not because it's for nut jobs. It's because when you have, your world doesn't have to fall apart because you're not relying on this world to be your whatever it is to you. So you don't have this cognitive breakdown, meltdown typically with believers, because they know that heaven is their home, and they just have to just realize it's just about realizing that, these things that I see, it makes you sad to realize that it isn't, just what you would think a standard thing is from people who live in this society with you. You're just like, oh, wow, that's sinister. Oh my gosh, they did this for this. Oh my gosh, they really poisoned people knowingly. Oh my gosh, they did this. Oh, this was actually bad. Oh, they lied about this. But then after a while, it gets fun. Once you acclimate and you realize, okay, yeah. And it causes you to detach from this world, which is a great thing. So I think that a lot of people preserving their attachment to this world is because they have not been shown any type of like, I mean, people are a little bit more open to it than they have been. I mean, now after like COVID and seeing all of these things before their eyes, they're going, okay, conspiracy theorists are sort of winning the day right now. Um, but yeah, it helps you to not be so attached to the world, and which I never was before, but that's just a natural benefit to it. And it's very sad to think like how so many people don't realize like how many things are just not what they look like, and they're really not giving their lives to God because they are like holding on to something that is a complete phantom. They want to like, well, I want to live my life, I want to do this, I want to, it's like that's all of that's fake. That whole thing is designed for you to not go to God. Like it's not sustainable. Like this thing that you want to go out and do. No, I want to go be famous. I want to, do this. I want to make money. I want to, whatever. I want to have my moment before I give my life to God. It's like that's the entire point. It's just a flashy sign, a cardboard thing with nothing behind it. And everybody that's participating, oh no, but see, look, everybody's enthusiastic. No, they went through it too, and they're bitter, and they want to see you fail too. They want to watch your face when you realize it's a scam too. Like, it's bad, guys. Like, so for instance, like, going down a rabbit hole, and like, I always trust the things that I just didn't, that I just randomly like found. Like, I wasn't looking for it. But I do remember a long time ago, I think this was maybe the first person like this that I ever saw, was seeing some video of some lady. She was talking about how her husband worked for the FBI, and how everybody in the FBI is a hot mess. There's people there doing good and whatever, but nobody knows about those people because nobody hangs out with those people. Nobody goes near those people because all the shady people need to stay away from those people. So they're always just a footnote in these stories because they're doing their job and going home to their family and coming home and whatever. And then they're just used as the front for the rest of y'all. So you think that it's an upstanding thing. And they're obviously not told of all of the weird stuff going on, so that when you question them and they go, no, that stuff's not going on, and it's completely genuine, it looks genuine, because they're master liars? No, because they're telling the truth. They don't know what's going on. Ain't nobody gonna tell them nothing. So they're like, yeah, no, we just do our jobs. So it's like the entire bureau is probably being held up by like 10, 20 upstanding people, and the rest of it's garbage. And you don't need that many people to run the freaking FBI. And that's just one example. Probably every institution that we have, education is absolutely like that. The Department of Education, which I thought started when, public education in this country started. No, it's literally like it's been around since the 70s. It's whack. It's whack. And it has damaged so many children, now adults. Yeah, you think your life is fine now. What could it have been without them, like, doing a Munchausen on everybody? So, stuff like that. And I just remember this lady just talking about her experience with this hot mess husband in the FBI and all the things that she went to. And they're loose-lipped. These are not, it just doesn't surprise me at all. But she mentioned Albert Einstein and how he was this degenerate person. And, just this was like really, really, really before I realized like pretty much everybody, any high profile person is going to be doing degeneracy and just whatever, going to be involved in that stuff. So I was just like, what? Out of all of the people for her to name, this was somebody who just had no dirt on his name. And I was just like, huh, what? And then in a completely unrelated context, because it was confusing to me. I was like, what? Like, I just don't understand. Like, Albert Einstein, like, okay. And then somebody was like, was Albert Einstein really like a doofus, like a dummy? And this was another person, and they were going back through his, because the whole famous story is like, oh, he got an F in math when he was in fourth grade. That goes to show you, like, your teachers don't always know that you're a genius. But then somebody was like, whoever was doing the video was going through like all of his records and showing that, yeah, his grades were always kind of a hot mess. He was caught plagiarizing in college, uh, at least once. I don't know if it was more than once. And then I was like, it's starting to come together a little bit now. Because now I'm like, okay, what if, like, the reason why, because it would, like, when you just say, oh, I saw Albert Einstein at this party, it's like, what's he doing at this party? And he's supposed to be this genius guy. And then you think, well, I guess genius guys can also be a hot mess. That's allowed. That's a thing. Maybe he was, just a hot mess by night and a genius by day. You go, okay. And then you hear some more about how just like the record that you have of him is him just being not even a person of smarts. And then you're like, okay, so there's no record that he was smart up until the time they needed him to be smart. And he also was at these parties. Maybe he's just a front. It's not even so much like, it's like, okay, well, then how did he get to be, okay, well, he's plagiarizing. Okay, so someone else, that makes sense that it could be like somebody else's ideas and he just took them. And now he's the great, and now he's whatever. Like, and then he's probably like, the devil loves that. Yay! Let's prop up the guy. And either he went willingly and just sopped up all of the fame and the fortune, or maybe it was weighing on his conscience. It's like he married his cousin, like all of this weird stuff. And so I'm like, so for me, that type of stuff is cool. Like, and it makes sense. It's like, we're so willing to believe, like, even after somebody tells you some, it's like the whole thing when Jesus said, a good tree bears good fruit and a bad tree bears bad fruit. But like, there'll be things in the world you think, well, I mean, maybe he's just had a bad patch and now he's okay. And you spend all of this time like trying to maintain the lie that they've told you, because you're trying to, like, nobody is going to just instantly throw away everything they've ever learned about someone. I've learned to do that with practice. I can sort of predict like what the story's going to be, but like nobody thinks to do that at first. It's like, okay, we'll give him a pass. Maybe he went through this, and you don't know all the details, so you're just filling in the rest. So you're kind of like helping uphold something that isn't true, which the devil sort of expects you to do. He expects your goodness and your empathy and your understanding to hold up the parts of his thing that are just completely like not working. And so, like somebody who's like a con man or whatever will do that and just use all of your good things against you. And so there's many, many, many people like that, many high profile people like that. Like Martin Luther King's another one. Like, for a while, I was like, I don't think people can hear that, but it's like, I don't care, I'm leaving. Martin Luther King, same pattern, weird behavior behind closed doors. Well, maybe this, maybe that. Plagiarism things in his college past, and then suddenly high profile figure out of nowhere. It's just like, okay, well, hate to break it to you. And then if you're like really, really honest about yourself, I mean, really just really open your eyes and see like what has happened since he came and went and how it was before. Like really just really get those eyes open. It's hard to come off of that, the ritualistic, like MLK thing that they're still doing to this day, which kind of like kind of losing a little bit of its power, but I mean, there was definitely a day that like you wouldn't even think to say anything about that man, you know. And it is crumbling now, and they're not going to go back and fix that because all the people that go hold up and spent their whole life believing something are all either dead or old. Nobody listens to old people. It's fine. I mean, that's how messy this is. That's how messy all of this is, you know. But then people got the nerve to place scrutiny on the Bible, which, if you don't believe in any of its like divineness, it is a book that has been venerated now for 2,000 years. For 2,000 years. For 1,800-ish and 50-ish of those years, people were using that Bible to build things for generations. But it's okay to scrutinize that thing. Like, I'm sorry, but you're crazy. Hold on. Sorry. Anyways, so people like to scrutinize that thing. And like another thing, I was like, people are always like, oh, well, this thing's been tampered with. How do you know this thing hasn't been tampered with? Which is just, again, Team Snake going, did God really say? Did God really say? It's like, why don't we look at the oldest Bible you have, doofus, and see if it's the same as mine right now? It probably is. Like, just stop. Everything is on the up and up. It's in every hotel room in the country. Oh, but how do you know if it's like, are you retarded? So, yeah, anyways, it's just annoying and it's sad. But yeah, so Albert Einstein, that's just the high profile propped up figures that suddenly pop up in history, and then they have 12 gazillion movies about them, and they all have with the moving score and all of this stuff. That's just, never mind the other thing that I was telling my husband. I was like, you know what? It's really strange that these rappers, we sort of got this list of who's the GOAT, who's the greatest of all time, the GOAT, the lyrics of this, the that, the that. And, there's these rappers that, 40 years later, almost 50 years later, and yes, the humans part of me has rap, am a rap fan of certain rap people. And I think, oh, I hear this, I go, oh, they're a genius. Oh, this is genius level. Oh my gosh, right? And I'm just like, they're telling you that they go in the studio and they fill that place up with smoke. They're telling you that they don't write anything down. They're telling you. And it's like, so you're telling me that you found 3 lyrical rap genius, top 3 geniuses in the same project? Like, I know, I get that there's genius in the ghetto, it's hidden in the ghetto, but y'all all three from the same project in Brooklyn? Like, what? Sorry. Anyways, so I'm just like, what's more likely, that there are 3 just rap god geniuses in the same area and within 20 miles, or it's just some Negroes that are serving the devil? Because all of these geniuses all make music that ultimately is destructive and destroying and destroys. So, and it's the same thing with any other geniuses that are touted, and then you go, well, didn't he have like a kidnapping charge and didn't he like attack a police dog? It's like, oh, well, he's a torture genius. Okay. Bro, I'm telling you, just put everything down on the earth as demonic. Like, all of your genius is demonic. All of our human genius is demonic. And how does it get here? Because people who love this world go and ask for the things that will give them money, fame, power, and respect. But they don't want to tell you how they got it. And the devil also would like to keep that under wraps as well. So they get on stage and they talk about hard work and this and that. And then they piss themselves at a party because they're drunk the entire time. And you know that tortured genius, it just can strike. So, so I was thinking about that, and then very interesting. I was in the theater and I got this thought, which was, the devil has no shame, but also God has no shame. But instantly when I say that, there's a difference between that. That doesn't mean that they're the same. And I was like, yeah, that needs to be, people need to keep this stuff in mind when they're trying to discern things, because I am so over people trying to discern things in the spirit, and they are going, well, the devil does that. Oh my gosh, speaking in tongues, it's demonic. Oh my gosh, laying on the hands is demonic. It's like this idea that everything that is done in church, it's like the church can show you in the scripture where it is. You can still be like, no, that's demonic because the devil does it too. It's like, okay, well, blood sacrifice, is that demonic? Because Jesus died on a cross. And yeah, what's up with that? Okay, well, the devil is invisible. God is invisible. The devil wants blood. He uses it for something. God uses blood for something. Oh, they must be the same. They're also, it's a spiritual thing you're dealing with. My thing is okay, you see how complex things can get in the natural. You see how complex things can get in nature. You see how complex things can get in psychology. But you get to the spirit realm and it's blood bad. Speaking tongues bad. Anything that causes you discomfort is bad. Oh, well, if it's Jesus, why do you have a headache? It's like, I need you to bring it all the way down to kindergarten levels. Like you would, like any grown person would, learning about anything else on this planet. You can't go into botany class talking about, isn't a weed a flower? They both have petals. You can't do that. You just sit and you listen to the experts and you just sit and be quiet. And if there are no experts, then you all learn together. You open your empty notebook and you share your findings until you can get a solid grasp on some stuff and write something down for somebody. Until then, you shut your mouth and you listen and you learn. And you think that the invisible realm that we all came from, it's just that simple. It's like, okay, well, if it's just that simple, answer me this. The devil has no shame. God has no shame. And yet you're not confused about those two concepts. You know that still neither party has shame, but one has a terrible connotation to it and one does not. Like, you got to use your senses. Just like you have senses in the natural. Like, don't just think, don't let the first idea, start with the idea that you're not going to just suddenly know the information on this side of heaven. Don't think, oh, case closed, we figured that out. No, I guarantee you, it's just as complex as the simple things of this world. As simple as trees are, there's a whole, you can get a PhD in it. As simple as water is, as simple as food is, there's lots and lots and lots to learn. And it's like the way that people approach the things in the spirit, they can't bear to learn more than just a little bit before they just get freaked out by it. And it's like, see, it's like you got to you got to stay with it a little bit longer than that before you can make a decision about it. Like, why are you just, I don't know. So, yeah, I was thinking about that. And there was something else I was going to say. What was it? I keep saying that and then keep forgetting what I was going to say. I don't know. I know that I flew through what I was trying to say in the first one, but I got most of it down. I just, man, I get set off sometimes, especially when I go to movies. But yeah, that I don't know, dude. I don't know that movie. I don't know why it's out. I don't know why it's out, but I know that the news headlines, it's just a lot of nuclear war chorus right now. So if I was you, I would be worried. And my phone's ringing, so I'm going to answer it.